The 6th ANC policy conference is in full swing at the Nasrec Expo Centre in Johannesburg. Peace and stability in the country, as well as social and economic transformation, are expected to lead discussions on the second day of the gathering. Let's find out what the outlook may be when it comes to the economy. Alternative Information and Development Centre Dr. Dick Forslund joins us now to weigh in, as well as looking back in terms of how far the party has come. Dr. Forslund, thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. So the document on the theme of strengthening economic recovery and reconstruction to build an inclusive economy reads, the ANC's vision for the South African economy is guided by the Freedom Charter, in particular the injunction that the people shall share in the country's wealth. What has been your assessment of the ANC's economic policy over the years? Have the people shared in the country's wealth?
Yeah, good day to you, Dudu, and to the viewers. No, definitely not. People have not shared in the country's wealth and in the country's income. And I mean, this is one of the main problems, of course, we are facing today. I think that with the Zondo Commission and its report, and with the litigation of former President Zuma, whistleblowers coming out and so on, I think one can view what is happening now as a crisis for the main project of the ruling party, which unfortunately the main project have been to build. It's a minority project, and it goes about of building a black capitalist class, and that will not include the majority of the people, of course. And I mean, you have two combatants in this political fight. You have the so-called Ramaphosa faction or coalition or whatever to call it, which wants to take it slower and go the corporate way, so to speak, and have the usual maybe sort of becoming junior partners of corporations, as Ramaphosa was with Lonmin. And then you have the so-called red faction who want to take a faster route, and they do it through the state because of the normal markets being blocked by you can say by the old apartheid capital that was in power already in 1994, and that hasn't changed. So if the markets are monopolized and very hard to get to, then you take a shortcut into the state. And this whole project now is in crisis, and that is, I think, what is playing itself out.
The document also asks what are the current economic policy priorities, right? And then it takes a look at achieving a number of points by 2035. One of them is a doubling in the number of small formal businesses, including farms, with black ownership of commercial farmland rising, and an increased share of black-owned formal businesses. When it comes to this issue of land in the country, you take a look at a party that is turning 9 years old, the Economic Freedom Fighters today, which has been a headache for the ruling party, and the ruling party which has been in existence for 110 years old. How would you grade it when it comes to that?
You mean to the issue of land?
Correctly
well, so. Yeah, I think that Advocate Tukai Toby has very sort of eloquently explained in articles, in his book Land Matters and so on, that with the legislation that is put in place today, there is even a provision for land acquisition or distribution, even without compensation. So I would say, and I would say with him, that the whole discussion about land reform without compensation, in a way, it's a kind of hoax, and you have a dysfunctional Department of Land, and you have an unwillingness to protect the land of rural communities. So there you really have, in many cases, land acquisition without compensation, or where you are destroying the land for rural communities who are doing sort of self-farming or sustainable farming. So if you are not addressing that issue, then I think that the whole debate about land acquisition is a scam. So, I mean, this, when it comes to the policy document of ANC, I think that progressive participants in the conference, they should really look at the World Bank document that the Reserve Bank and the Treasury signed with the World Bank last year. The community partnership framework. There you have the economic policy of the really existing economic policy of the ANC. And that is why we have over 200,000 vacancies in hospitals and schools. That is why we have these cuts or the unwillingness even to implement properly the 350 Rand social grant, the special COVID grant and so on. So you have an extreme austerity policy going on, and you have a crisis in the public sector negotiations, and you have sort of, officially the Department of Public Administration, they admitted that there are 168,000 vacancies in the public sector as of December last year, 73,000 teachers and 39,000 in the public health sector. And of course you can't have a social transformation worth the name if you have such a situation. So I think the deal which the Treasury and the government has struck with the World Bank last year, I think that is the program that is really in charge, and that is a main problem as I see it.
Thank you very much for your insights this afternoon, Dr. Dick Forslund, Senior Economist at Alternative Information and Development Centre.